Hello and welcome. Released more than 23 years ago, Final Fantasy VII has persisted through the years as more than just that original PlayStation RPG. Through both video games and film, the compilation of Final Fantasy VII has expanded on both the world and characters. Final Fantasy VII Remake returns to that original story, however, recreating and expanding on about the first 20% of the original game on modern consoles. Like with any other art form, there are certain games that are so beloved that they become ingrained in the collective unconscious, and Final Fantasy VII is definitely one of them. With some of the most memorable moments of its generation, along with a beloved storyline and a cast of characters that arguably hasn't been matched in a game yet, it was only a matter of time before Final Fantasy VII was remade for the modern age. And Final Fantasy VII Remake has finally arrived. And it's definitely an experience that lives up to those years of hype. You should remember, though, that by undertaking something as gargantuan as a remake of Final Fantasy VII, there are really only two ways it can go: either a perfect recreation that doesn't change a thing, or making drastic changes to a 23-year-old game to bring it more in line with modern game design. The original was an important part of my childhood, and so I looked forward to the remake with careful anticipation. Expecting to be disappointed, but still pre-ordered to get back into the world at the earliest opportunity. Wow, my life was not my own as I plunged most of the waking day into exploring this beautifully remade story. Now watching the credits 4 days 30 played hours later, and not even having explored the post-game material which the developers have definitely lovingly crafted, I can honestly say this is the best game ever made. In all, this game is absolutely amazing. Combat is great, graphics look stunning, music is excellent, and the voice acting is perfect. Then the overall gameplay, the fanservice, the atmosphere of the game and the nostalgia trip is just a jaw-dropping experience for all fans of FINAL, only derailed by small filler material and the controversial ending. I don't mind any of the minor changes. I love the depiction of all the characters in the game. The main cast, Avalanche members, the higher-ups at Shinra, all of them. It's been over 23 years since Final Fantasy VII released, seizing the moment that video game characters transitioned from 16-bit sprites to blocky 3D animated models, and blowing the minds of gamers worldwide with a one-of-a-kind story about the ragtag group of eco-warriors taking on a ruthless mega-corporation. It was heavy stuff back then, but it set the bar for the types of stories that games could tell, and thus it went largely unmatched in the years following its release. Final Fantasy VII Remake takes cues from some of the best games to release in the past 2 decades, all while maintaining the best parts of the original's weirdness. I was at first skeptical that Remake could balance these elements without losing anything that made the original great. However, after 50 hours spent adventuring as spiky-haired protagonist Cloud Strife, I'm comfortable calling Final Fantasy VII Remake the best Final Fantasy game I've played in decades. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a spectacle from start to finish. You can tell how much care has been taken to bring this story back to life for modern audiences. As a retelling of a classic with plenty of surprises in store, the remake offers engaging experiences for longtime fans and newcomers alike. Its action-packed combat, engrossing story, and gorgeously detailed setting successfully reminds you why Final Fantasy VII is beloved by so many. Regardless of your history with the original game, Final Fantasy VII Remake is an astounding achievement. The wait for its release was a long one, but in gameplay, story, characters, and music, it delivers. The wait was worth it. For first-time players, it's an opportunity to understand why Final Fantasy VII is held in such high regard. It's the chance to experience a multifaceted story that grapples with complex subject matter, be in the company of memorable characters, and be moved by their plight. For returning fans, this isn't the Final Fantasy VII your mind remembers. It's the one your heart always knew it to be. Music. Fans of the series will enjoy a fresh take on the classic Final Fantasy themes. Gameplay. The combat system is one of a kind and beautiful to watch. Story. The story is immersive and interesting. relates to a lot of problems we see in society today. You will really enjoy the character development and each person's story. Graphics. The graphics in this game are so good you'll be left wishing you had a photo mode. Game is a complete masterpiece, from soundtrack to gameplay to fighting mechanics to minigames and specially cinematics. Don't get fooled by reviews that didn't even play the entire game or have any idea about how deep the content is. Definitely worth the time and money. Just finished the first playthrough and feels like there is so much to do and re-watch and listen. Whether you played the first game or not, you'll be very surprised with this game. Everything I was hoping for. Dare to say it is the best game of the decade along with the next ones to come. That's it for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you next time.
Who died will return. They're howling in pain.